Hi creatives. Today we have a really special guest, Tanya Capel. She's not only an artist but also a mindful creative coach, and she's passionate about integrating mindfulness into creative process. Tanya is known for her work in modern calligraphy and watercolors, and now she more focuses on helping others overcome creative blocks and build meaningful art practices. Also, she's a mother and entrepreneur, so she knows a lot of things, how to balance business and family and mindful living. So today we will ask her all about these things. She helps other artists and creatives to stay grounded, inspired, and successful. So if you want to grab all these highlights from the interview, you're welcome to subscribe to the newsletter. Then you will get all the tips and recommendations into your inbox. And I see the request from Tanya. Any comments or any questions you might have to Tanya or me, and we will be happy to answer them during this live. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. It's raining in Munich and it's kind of cold in here, but I'm fine. It's okay. How are you?
I'm fine too. It's sunny in Valencia as always.
As
Yeah.
always.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm lucky here with the sun.
Oh, nice.
Thank you so much for finding time and for joining this live. I have a lot of questions to you about mindfulness and creativity.
Yeah.
And my first question actually is about how you switch from art to coaching, or how did you start with drawing calligraphy and then smoothly, was it a smooth transition, or what is the story behind this? Can you tell us, please?
Wow, big first question. So where do I start? It was not a smooth and not an easy and not a fast transition at all. Like everything in life, it was a very slow process that I first had to adapt myself to personally, and then I transmitted and transformed and transferred this process and my learnings into my business here in Munich and online. So yeah, basically I made myself, or I am a self-taught artist. I didn't learn how to do art and how to paint and do lettering stuff, calligraphy stuff, and watercolor stuff. Yeah, I'm self-taught, absolutely self-taught. So everything that I do and show to my followers, to my community, is also part of my personal life. It's a mirror of my personal life. So everything I made in the past 8 years since my studio in Munich and my online business has come to life is me, is 100% Frau Höller and me and my life and my learnings inside my life. So yeah, and my life transformed from the normal studio life, what is normal? The normal creative life. First of all, when when I got my children, when I became a mother. So every mother knows this is the biggest transformation and transformative process at all in life, I guess. So yeah, this was kind of hard also to adapt to the new processes, especially in COVID times, which was another great, big, huge challenge, business-wise and personally. And to keep it short, all of this, what happened in my life, led to a dark part of my life, as I call it now, when I just had no more energy left. And I felt so hopeless and without any visions of my life, of my personal life, of my business. And I made a break. This is 2.5 years ago now. I took a sabbatical, 6 months, just reading and, well, doing nothing. It's not really true when you have children, you do a lot every day, but just relaxing a bit more, taking a break. And then I realized I need something else in my life. I need to shift my life. I need to balance my life more between my personal life, my business life, and then mindfulness. Yeah, came into my life, and especially mindful creativity, which is part of our talk today.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I can relate to this story, but when I became a mother, and about 2 years later, I started to draw patterns. Before that, I was a graphic designer, and then I decided to say I really want something for myself, just drawing, and I found there a lot of energy for myself. And how it was for you? Did you start searching some information about mindfulness, coaching, creativity? Because when it's something really new to you, before that uh, you did lettering, right? And then you start to Google or what about?
Well, I think I'm sure everybody has heard about mindfulness before, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's a big,
Yeah.
huge word and buzzword that you read a lot, especially nowadays. So yeah, I knew about mindfulness and mindful techniques before my downside of life 2.5 years ago. But I just read many, many books in my sabbatical about creativity and about the mindful part about creativity. And a lot of those books combined the creative process with the mindfulness processes. And this was so exciting for me and a whole new world that opened in my mind for me that I also wanted to open and share with others after I managed to go through my own personal life.
Can you share, please, with us several examples of the exercises, of the practices that you're talking about, this mindfulness, creativity?
Yeah, so I think also most of us know the basic mindful exercises and techniques always relate to the breath. So yeah, the breath is the most common pattern and technique to balance yourself, to ground yourself, to meditate also. Meditation is a huge part of mindfulness. Even I think the most known part and practice of mindfulness is meditation with breath. What you can also do, and what I explored a lot in my sabbatical, is meditating with art and more with creativity. So what I did then in my sabbatical was to, really to meditate. That means to just focus on the process, on the feelings, on the senses that you feel when you do creative stuff. So for example, if you paint with a brush, with watercolor and lots of water and pigments, you just really emerge into this process. You explore the process with all your senses. And yeah, this is so much energy that you can take away in this process, which feels like meditating. But it's easier, like just normal meditating, because many people have a lot of difficulties when meditating, closing the eyes and just focusing on the breath, because the mind is always a monkey mind and always goes from nim, 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 nim. So whenever I close my eyes, it's the same. You think about what do I have to do next? Do I have to cook anything? Do I have to buy anything? Yeah, isn't it like this? This is our mind. This is normal. It's okay. But if you try to focus on the creative process and the senses that you feel within, this is so much powerful, and it's a bit easier for many people.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, when I did a small research on your website, I saw that you have a club, and I find it a little bit similar to the club that I have, because I teach people also to focus on the process, not on the final perfect result and all this
Yes.
stuff. And I use a lot of art therapy practices in my club. Can you share a little bit about your community? What are the main values? How do you guide through some artistic blocks? And by the way, what are the most common art blocks you see in your clients?
The art blocks. So you mean
Create. I mean, creative blocks in your case. I mean, there's some blocks,
okay.
mental blocks. So what do when they come to you? What they say that I'm stressed, I feel anxiety, I don't know how to create, or I don't know what to do. What are the main requests
Yeah.
from your clients? Many questions in
Yeah,
one take.
it's so exciting. I just try to balance everything in my mind.
Yeah.
I think two types of people that I focus on in my club, in my Create and Care club. One side of people is the absolutely non-creative kind of people that think from themselves, I cannot create art at all. I'm not creative at all. And many people think like this. This is a common pattern, isn't it? So many people, many children think I cannot create art. So this is one of my target group, even if not my biggest target group, because I want to teach and to show that you don't need to create art to create a product, as you said. You can just create as a form of meditation, as I told you before. On the other hand, I also reach out to creatives who are stuck in their creative processes, especially business-wise. If you always and every day need to produce, create, and succeed with your art and your creative techniques. Because this is my part. This is what I felt 2.5 years ago. I needed to produce everything, always a new product, always a new creative product. And this made me sick in the end. Always to have the pressure on my mind. So this is, I think, the two types of people and the two target groups that I have with my Create and Care club to just relax a bit more, to take art and creativity not so serious but more easy, and just like you said, process wise and not product wise driven.
Mm-hmm.
You asked about examples of my club. Yes. To make it a bit clearer what this whole mindful creativity thing means, one side of my club and the biggest part of my club is, I call it Mal meditation, so in German, and that's like a painting meditation. So just like I said before, this is like a guided meditation that I video produced before, where I paint abstract motifs, and I teach a meditation within, so that you can focus on the process, on the pigments, on the flow of the water, on your breath, and not so much on your thoughts and worries.
In your experience, do you see that members of your club need to be a part of community? How often do they communicate with the other participants, or do they do everything by their own, only watching the videos and don't chat much, don't participate in the Zoom calls if you have them?
I think this is up to you. I think, what I see and experience in my Create and Care club is two sides. There are some kind of people who like to do just the videos and the meditations and the coloring stuff, the coloring things on their own, and not communicate at all with the community. There is a community. There is also a Discord channel where you can connect to others who also feel stressed out and not productive anymore. So there is a space where you can connect and communicate together. And I also host 4 live streams in a month in the club, where you can come together and talk to me and talk to others. But not everybody, just like in normal life, wants to communicate and wants to connect with others with his own or her own problems. So I think it's up to you, and it's both is possible in the club. You can connect to others, you can come into our Discord channel and talk and write to others, and you can also just take and make everything on your own, in your own pace, in your own space at home, and just for yourself, which is the core of my club.
Mm-hmm. And do you have some of the creative practices in your daily schedule? I mean, do you have any rituals or something? Maybe you, in the morning, you start some journaling or drawing, or it's more spontaneous or intuitive?
Well, when you have 2 small children under 6, everything in life is spontaneous, I guess. No, I have a morning routine, but it's all flexible. It needs to be flexible. So what I really love to do in the mornings is a 5 to 10 minute meditation. So a guided meditation, only meditative, not drawing, just sitting, relaxing, closing my eyes and following the guided meditation in my ears. What I also just really love to do is mindfully drinking my coffee in the morning, which is a very easy practice. You can also do in your daily life, even with 2 small children. And in the evenings, I focus on the creative mindful processes and techniques, like, as I said, drawing or coloring. I really love. I explored, and I found coloring as one of the most meditative, creative processes at all, because you don't need to focus on everything. You don't need to be creative, like inventing a new pattern or a new motive. So you can just color. Coloring blocks with watercolor is so meditative for me, and I love it a lot. Or journaling. Journaling is another technique that I integrated into my life a lot. So once in a month, or twice in a month perhaps, I grab my journal in the evening and I write down whatever comes to my mind. Very powerful also.
Thank you.
But you need to explore on your own what fits into your own life. So there's no standard procedure for self-care hacks or techniques. Everybody needs to see and to feel on their own what feels good.
Yeah, I agree. But sometimes it's hard to start when you don't have any examples. And I think it's helpful to hear from others what experience do they have, because you can try, okay, maybe I'll try to drink my tea more aware too, and it could work for me. And
by the way, mindfulness is such a creative and powerful tool in your whole daily routine. As I just said, funnily enough, you can drink mindfully your coffee or your tea or your water, a glass of water, but you can do everything that you do in your whole life mindfully. This is so funny, but also so powerful. You can walk mindfully, you can talk mindfully, you can write and draw mindfully, you can do everything mindfully. And whenever you do something mindfully and totally focused on the here and now, as we always say, this is the most powerful thing about mindful self-care, for me at least.
Yeah, I think maybe it's also important to mention that if you haven't tried anything like meditation before, it might be really not so clear how it works, because I remember a few years ago when I started to meditate, I really didn't understand how it works. I just said, okay, I'm listening to a guided meditation, and start to think about buying a milk, cleaning something, and all this stuff. And I was sitting for 10, 15 minutes. I didn't understand, okay, how it works. Is there something change or not? But I think the key is to continue to try to give it a chance. And with time, you will notice that you can make it easier, and you will probably notice the changes. And after a month, maybe, then the effect of the result of this meditation will be definitely more. You will see this difference different.
Absolutely. It's like always a matter of practice, I guess. So when you do something just once in a life, it's hard, and you won't succeed, and you won't feel anything probably, just as you said. So you need to, but I think you always need to know your why you do something. Why do you want to meditate? Why do you want to do sports? I'm not a sporty person because I just don't like it. So I know my why. I don't like to sweat. I don't like to run. I just don't like it. Okay. But I like to meditate because it's, for me, it's a silent process, and it gives me energy back into my daily life. So I know my why, and so it's easier for me to always come back to this routine, So it's about practice, and it's about knowing your why, I think.
And also comparing to meditations, this creative drawing meditation, this is why I like them, because it's kind of more accessible. When you start to color something or to draw and make it more mindful, just thinking about the process, just diving into it, you really can notice this shift of your state, of your mood from the first take. I mean that in my experience with students, when I give them these practices of mindful drawing meditation, all of them say that yeah, I feel calmer, I feel more relaxed, and so on. And it's super easy. This is why I think that this is approach should be more popular all over the world, because anyone can
Yeah,
access.
absolutely agree. Accessibility is the key of mindful
Mm-hmm.
creativity. That's also what I think, because just like you said, the normal meditation process is hard. It's really hard when you need to close your eyes, and then everything is like a cinema in your head, isn't it? Everything starts to happen inside your mind, and it's totally normal. So it's so much easier when you focus on the things in front of you and your feelings, on your pencil, on your brush, on your colors, on your pigments, on the flow of the water, everything. So your mind and your eyes can concentrate and focus on what lies in front of you. But inside you, yeah, everything becomes more quiet, relaxed, and yeah, peaceful. And easier, much easier as like in, yeah, a normal guided meditation process. I agree totally.
Yeah, and I think the one of the most one of the easiest way is just to take a coloring book.
Yeah.
Really, you have it everywhere, and just start to color, because I hear this from my friends who are managers or sales. They say, I noticed that they color. I don't see how they color, but then in our talk, they say, oh, you know, I took a coloring book from my daughter and started to color, and I really enjoyed it. And this is why, if someone is listening to us and don't have experience in meditation and just want to try, grab a coloring book and
Perfect. Yeah.
start today. So,
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
and if we move to being a mom and entrepreneur, how do you balance all this stuff? Because when I open your site, I see that you have a club, you have some stationery, some boxes with materials, branded materials. So also you have a team there, and all these art and coaching practices, and little kids.
Mm,
How do you manage all of this?
I don't. This is the truth. I can't. Yeah, but I think it's a lifelong journey and a lifelong challenge trying to manage, trying to balance mom stuff and business stuff, and it is not possible. And when I had my burnout time, and after my sabbatical, or in my sabbatical better, I realized this the first time in my life. Before this this really dark point in my life, I always tried to succeed everywhere in my life. I wanted to be the best mother. I wanted to be the best chef in my team. I wanted to produce the best products, to be the best creative German artist, best. And this is just not possible. And this took so much energy from me, I think. Yeah, that I need to fall down. It's just so clear for now. For me, it's very clear that it was a normal process. It is absolutely not possible to succeed everywhere in life. So what I do now, what I try, I'm not perfect at all, but what I try is to focus on different things. So it's okay 1 week to focus on my kids when they just, one of my sons just got to school, so this was very exciting for all of us. And so I took more of my energy and my time, because time is always energy in our lives, for my son to go through everything with him, to go and to manage his emotions, which is also taking energy from you. And in the next week, I took more energy into my studio, into my business life, because we need to produce new products for the club month. So it's always a shift. And I think for me, this is the key now, to shift everything and always to be flexible in life, because you can't always give 200% in everything of your life. This is just making you sick. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not managing it. I'm
No,
still trying. It's still a process, a learning process every single day.
what you just described, actually, managing, you shift the focus from family to, from children to work, depending on what are the needs of this or that. So it's definitely managing. Do you have any tips for other artists and entrepreneurs and moms? Maybe some small like daily routines when you want to launch another project and you have to take care of your kids. Any maybe some life hacks that can help.
Life hacks. I don't think life hacks exist, Paulina. um, no, to be honest, yeah, I don't think life hacks exist. I just think you, as you said, just always need to focus on one thing at a time. I think, yeah, we as humans always think we can do multitasking. And this is absolutely not true at all. We are not capable of doing multitasking things, and multitasking makes us sick. Multitasking is not healthy at all. I know it now. So I sound very, very humble and very wise. Now I knew that multitasking is a failure. Before, I didn't know. So yeah, my life hack would be, do not try to do multitasking in your life. Just focus at one thing at a time. And if it happens that two things in your life need your attention, then also just grab one thing at a time. Take a half an hour for the first thing and then half an hour for the next thing, but not everything together. This is just absolutely mindfuck. And not healthy. Absolutely not healthy.
Yeah, it's a big pressure on yourself, and
Yeah.
when we want to be the best in being a mother and a business woman, that it's really hard. And
Yeah.
I can share what helped me. The very simple concept idea, but it took me years to understand that. When I understood that I should let my kids be whoever they want to be. I mean that always I love my children very much, and I want them to be very very happy. I don't know, very tidy, very nice, and very smart, and so on.
Of
And then,
course.
and then at one moment, I understood, let them be whatever they want to be, and it doesn't mean that I don't love them in this. And maybe it's hard to, I don't know, to explain, but for me, it was a game changer when I just make this control of everything, connecting with them less, and it gives me more energy and them more freedom.
Yeah, I agree totally. And I just found something in my mind, another life hack, similar to yours a bit, and it's disconnect yourself. So disconnect, especially from social media, in times when you don't know what to do first in life, when everything needs your attention totally at all, then disconnect, especially from social media, because social media is so toxic business wise and mommy wise, because you always see those perfect mommy lives and those perfect mummies, and everything is nice and clean and tidy and shiny. Mommy wise and business wise, you see other artists just succeeding and building new things and products and having new partnerships and connecting with new brands. And you always just compare yourself 24/7 days, 24/7 hours a day and 7 days a week. Yeah. So yeah, my life hack and my game changer is really, especially now, disconnect from social media. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, under so much pressure, you don't know where to start, just unplug and recharge yourself, breathe, color a bit, and then just take your time and do one thing after the other. Yeah. This
Comparing
would be a healthy approach, at least. A healthier approach.
Yeah, I agree that comparing yourself with others is really unhealthy. And another thing that helped me was to make a list of what I've done during my life, and then just to put there everything without any judgment, just a fact that okay, I did this and that. And when I finished this list and I read it, I was just imagining what if it were another woman who did all this stuff. And when I look at this list like it's another woman, I thought, oh wow, she's really great. And it's so funny because when it's the same, it's all about me, but it's so we are so can judge ourselves so much.
Yeah, this is a nice practice. Very, very good practice. We should all do this. Yeah, yeah. It's easy, but it's so powerful. Yeah.
What else can we share with others about creative and mindfulness approach in daily life, in work? What would you like to share?
I just read the comment from Sandra in the chat that she's also doing, or she did too much work even in weekends, and now she's stuck with an annoying tinnitus. Tinnitus was also one of my things. Yeah, in my deep down burnout time, I also got tinnitus, and then I knew, wow, something is going on here. Something needs to change. But besides that, what I think is really a huge part of managing, mastering life, especially a healthy life and a healthy creative life, is always connecting to yourself. And this is what I never did before in my life, especially when I had my kids. I was just doing everything, one, for my kids, two, for my business, but not for myself. So I really, in my sabbatical, it felt like the first time in my life I really deeply and honestly connected to myself, to what I am, what I like in life, what I don't like in life, what I want to do, what I want to achieve. So I think this is a very, very important part in life and in the personal development at all, to always deeply connect and talk to yourself, because then you feel when something is going on that's not good before you get a tinnitus like I did in Santa also. So always stay connected with yourself. If it's like doing meditation stuff, if you're a sporty person, but do it mindfully. And if you do something mindfully, also if you drink mindfully your coffee, you connect with yourself, you feel yourself, you explore your emotions, your feelings, and you don't just rush. It's always about rushing, or it was about rushing in my life before. I just rushed from A to B to C, sleeping, and again rushing from A to B to C, sleeping. So this is not healthy. So connect with yourself, stay focused, stay mindful, use creative processes and practices for this mindful life, because it's helpful and it's accessible, as we said before. And I think this is, this can lead to a healthier life in total, especially for moms, because moms are under a lot of pressure. Always.
Let's try to go a little bit deeper and explain what does it mean to drink a cup of tea or coffee, water with mindfulness. Can you guide us through this? What questions or what should you do? If I don't understand, what does it mean? How I can drink something mindfully?
Yes, this is quite easy actually, because doing something mindfully just means that you focus on what you do right now in this moment. So this means that you focus on drinking your coffee, not to think about your next task in life or in your day, and focusing on your senses, because your senses, just like your breath, always help you anchoring. I don't know if that word exists, finding an anchor in life. So yeah, drinking mindfully especially means focusing on the senses in your mouth, how it tastes, the coffee or the tea or the water or what else, and not judging anything. This is also a very important part of mindfulness, not judging anything. So not judging if it's too cold, if it's too hot, if it tastes good or bad, just focusing, realizing, sensing. This is mindfulness, in everything that you do. And if you walk mindfully, for example, you focus on your feelings in your feet. When you walk outside, for example, you focus on what you feel in your feet or what you hear outside, birds or trees or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So your senses really help you practicing mindfulness in daily life, whatever you do, drinking, drawing,
Mm-hmm.
everything.
So the demo session would sound like, okay, how do I feel now? Is it comfortable? What is the temperature of my glass? Is it heavy or not? Then what smell? If it's coffee, do I feel right? And what texture? How I feel with my lips, the surface and inside. So all these tiny questions can help to notice and to focus on this process, because I really think that for someone who never tried these practices before, it could be just sound a little bit unclear. What does it mean to if
Absolutely.
this is why I ask all these questions, to show in details what does it mean and how to try it.
Yeah.
Just ask yourself questions about all your senses, like taste and textures and smells and maybe sounds at the moment, not trying to think about future or the past.
Yeah.
Just what you feel in different levels and senses, and not judge it, just noticing and focusing, right?
And perhaps, yeah, absolutely correct. And
Mm-hmm.
in addition to that, you can also try to come back to yeah, like a child would explore things. So it's like the mind of a child that you try to achieve when doing mindful things. That's what I imagine always, because a child doesn't think about the next task in life, isn't it? A child just is right here, right now, and enjoys the moment. This is it, enjoying the moment 100% with all your senses and everything that you have. So yeah, I always imagine being my child and just drinking my not coffee, of course, but hot chocolate, and just enjoying myself in this minute right now.
Yeah, that's right. I hope someone who is watching us will try it today, or maybe trying now.
Yeah.
And I think my last question is, what advice would you give to yourself? What would you like to know several years ago when you started this mindful coaching? Maybe something would make this journey smoother. Any advice?
I think the best advice that I would give myself some years ago is don't lose yourself. It doesn't matter what you do, personally or business wise, but never lose yourself and always connect to yourself and always try to feel yourself. Because if you feel yourself honestly and deeply, you can't lose yourself, you can't lose your health. So staying healthy, I think, is the most important thing in life. Even if you have, or especially if you have an own business, you need to stay healthy, isn't it? Because it all depends on you. So it should be your first priority. You should be your first priority all of the time, even if you have an own business, even you have small children that of course have needs, have lots of needs all of the time. But nevertheless, try to take your time, and 5 minutes a day is enough. So you don't need to run for 2 hours to the forest or do a 1 hour yoga practice. 5 to 10 minutes is enough a day, but 5 to 10 mindful minutes a day keep you healthy. Yeah, this is the sentence I would say myself. Tanya.
It's really important that we often have this idea that you need a perfect day, a perfect few hours, and we postpone this month, and we can start just now. There's a beautiful comment in the comments by Joanna. I recently just found my color journal that I made inspired by a flower color. It's wonderful. I think that these coloring journals is a great start, and it can improve mental health, really. Just coloring for 5 to 10 minutes a day can change so much.
Absolutely. And one thing that is very important for me to say is art is not creativity. I think this is a fatal mindset that I also want to, it's part of my vision to break it up. So you have art and you are a huge artist. I'm not an artist. I myself see more like a coach, as you said. So I try to teach people not to see art too serious, but enjoy creativity like a child, just playing with creativity. And whenever you see art on Instagram, you just think, oh, I'm not capable of doing this. And mindful art, mindful creativity. I am not an artist, but you don't need to be an artist to do creative things and to enjoy yourself doing mindfully creative things. So this is very, very important for me, trying to teach and to show people that everybody is capable of doing creative stuff.
Yeah. I agree with you, and everyone is creative, and there is no person in the world who is not creative. And I hope more people will believe in yourself, and if they want to draw something, they will just grab a pencil and try to do it right now, just some scribbles or anything they want.
Or
Thank you so much.
even if it's just coloring. Coloring
Yeah.
is the number one tool to just doing creative things mindfully for your health. Yes.
And thank you so much. It was a big pleasure for me to talk with you about creativity and mindfulness. It's one of my favorite topics and something that I am really passionate about. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I love the topic and I love the talk that we had. So yeah, perhaps we inspired some people out there to take it more serious, to take care of themselves through creativity, perhaps.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too, Paulina.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.